The air in the small Emmerdale church is thick with a grief so heavy it feels like a physical weight. It's a collective sorrow, a shared tapestry of loss for Nate Robinson, a man whose life was snatched away far too soon. But for one man standing amongst the mourners, the grief is a suffocating, isolating shroud. That man is John Sugden, and the secret he carries is a roaring inferno threatening to burn through the fragile composure he's so desperately trying to maintain. We've watched him, haven't we? We've seen the haunted look in his eyes, the almost imperceptible tremor in his hands as he holds his husband Aaron. We've witnessed the carefully constructed facade of the dependable army medic turned village hero. But beneath it all lies a truth so dark, so catastrophic, that its revelation would not just shatter lives, but obliterate the very foundations of the world he has meticulously built. John, the man who saves people, is the man who took a life, Nate's life. And now, in the hallowed silence of Nate's funeral, the universe seems to be conspiring to tear that secret from his soul. The day is already a tinderbox of raw emotion. Cain Dingle, his face a mask of fractured stoicism, struggles through a heart-wrenching tribute to his son, every word laced with the agony of a final, bitter argument. Tracy Metcalf, Nate's grieving partner and the mother of his child, is a study in fragile strength, her sorrow a palpable presence that fills the pews. The tension is a live wire, sparking between the Dingles and anyone who dares to meet their gaze. It's into this maelstrom of anguish that John is unexpectedly thrust. When a grief-stricken Tracy finds herself unable to deliver the eulogy, all eyes, heavy with a mixture of sympathy and expectation, turn to John, the ex-army medic, the man who was always calm in a crisis, the man who, in the twisted narrative he has woven, was Nate's friend. The request hangs in the air, a seemingly innocent plea that for John is a death knell to his deception. Every instinct, every fiber of his being screams at him to refuse, to melt into the background and let this agonizing charade continue. But to do so would be to raise suspicion, to crack the very mask he has so painstakingly crafted. And so with the weight of every lie he has ever told pressing down on him, John finds himself walking towards the lectern, each step an eternity. From his vantage point, the sea of faces is a blur of sorrow. He sees Aaron, his loving, unsuspecting husband, offering a small, encouraging nod. He sees Cain, his eyes red-rimmed and hollowed out by a pain John himself inflicted. And then his blood runs cold. Seated amongst the mourners, a quiet observer in the theater of his guilt, is D.S. Walsh. The detective's presence is a stark, chilling reminder that this is not just a moral failing, but a crime, a murder. The silence in the church is absolute, a vacuum waiting to be filled. And as John opens his mouth to speak, the words that have been clawing at his throat, the confession that has been a relentless torment, threaten to spill forth. The pressure is immense, a physical force that makes his chest ache and his vision swim. We are here today to remember a man. His voice starts, a stranger's voice, hollow and distant. But the words feel like ash in his mouth. How can he speak of Nate's kindness, his loyalty, his love for his family, when he is the very reason those qualities are now just a memory? How can he offer comfort to the people whose lives he has irrevocably broken? That hypocrisy is a bitter, nauseating pill. In that moment, we see the cracks in the facade begin to show. The carefully controlled composure gives way to a raw, unfiltered anguish. His eyes, no longer able to meet the gaze of the mourners, fix on a point in the distance, seeing not the stained glass window, but the ghost of the man he killed. The eulogy falters, the prepared words forgotten, replaced by the chaotic symphony of his guilt. His breathing becomes shallow, his knuckles white as he grips the sides of the lectern. The thought of his ex-fiancée, Aidan, lying in a coma for years because of another of John's godlike interventions, flashes through his mind. A pattern of destruction, a trail of broken lives in the wake of his desperate need to be the hero. The internal monologue is a frantic, desperate scream. Tell them what you did. End this torment, you owe them that much. For a heart-stopping moment, it seems he will. The air crackles with the unspoken. The mourners lean forward, sensing a shift, a break in the carefully curated grief. Aaron's brow furrows with concern. Cain's gaze sharpens. D.S. Walsh's eyes narrow, her professional curiosity. The precipice. The moment where the truth, in all its devastating glory, will either be unleashed or ruthlessly suppressed once more. Will John Sugden, the man of secrets and lies, finally succumb to the weight of his conscience? Will the quiet country church bear witness to a confession that will send shockwaves through the dales, tearing families apart and changing lives forever? Or will he, once again, find the strength to bury the truth, to plaster over the cracks and continue to live a lie, the silence of his guilt screaming ever louder in the hollow chambers of his soul? The silence stretches, pregnant with 1,000 unspoken words, and in that deafening quiet, the fate of John Sugden, and all those he holds dear, hangs precariously in the balance. The next words he utters will either be his salvation or his damnation, and Emmerdale will never be the same again.